Welcome back to DIVEBOMB IndyCar Podcast, and we have another guest on this week. I'll say guest, he's really just the third host who's just made an appearance after the off-season. Louis, welcome back to the show. How have you been? What have you spent your time doing since Nashville? Been busy at all?
Firstly, I'm good, thank you. Secondly,
Good.
Doing stuff, not a ton. I went on vacation or holiday with family and whatnot. See my cousin get married. Apart from that, no, sat in a hole. I've moved to a new. This is a new place that I'm in now. I've been moving. That's taken a lot of time up, and there's an ungodly amount of cardboard boxes all over this place. But aside from that, not a ton.
Where'd you go on vacation? Ever fancy?
I went to Greece, the island of Kos, which is right next to Turkey. So it was nice. I hadn't been to Kos before. I hadn't been to Greece in, probably 6 or 7 years, I would say. But it's right at the end where it gets like, people seem to think that Greece is always nice and sunny and warm. It's not. In late September and early October, it starts to get pretty bad. So we got there the next week after we left. It was like raining all week, but all the time we were there was nice and sunny. So I think we picked the perfect week to go.
I hate that both of you use the word vacation. It's not very British of you.
Well, it's not, no, but you just get used to it. It's like I don't say lift anymore. I say elevator, because if someone in America, if they hear me say lift, they're just going to be confused. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you just
that's
pick up
fair.
on that stuff.
Well, I was going to ask later, what sport to you is football?
Soccer, like
Okay,
normal football. Yeah.
Well, that's still football in your mind.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. No,
We haven't lost you completely.
No, I went to watch a game actually with one of my sponsors at Graham's Social House last weekend, and I was just annoying them the entire time. I kept calling it handball, and whenever they scored a touchdown, I'd say, "Oh, they scored a basket," and it was annoying them so much. So yeah, the American sports still haven't really rubbed off on me yet. Like, I'm not a fan of any of them really. Like, I think NFL football, whatever you want to call it, American football is cool. But to me, it's always going to be like worse rugby. Like, I don't care how long I live in America. Rugby's always going to be better than it, kind of thing. So I don't know. I still live and die by obviously normal football and also English sports. The American ones are still a little bit off center to me, but they're cool.
You've regained my respect by calling it normal football. So there we go. So I guess, what does the off season actually look like for you in its entirety? Because it's obviously such a long time. Like, how much off time do you get? How much time do you actually have to spend, quote unquote, working? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, there's not a ton of obligations, right? I mean, there'll be media stuff here and there that you have to do, but it's pretty sparse and rare. Majority of it is training, I would say. I'm in the gym. I'm at RLL most days for about 4 or 5 hours, maybe that's kind of the higher end of it, if I'm honest. But that includes going there and training, which usually takes about 2 hours total, depending on the day. And that's really is the key thing, is fitness, right? Because you're not in the car, you're not driving, your fitness is getting worse and worse and worse, and the only way to stop it from getting worse is to train, right? To train enough. So that, whether that be strength training in the gym, doing cardio, going for a run kind of thing, bike ride, whatever you like to do. But training does take up a lot of it. And because the training schedule is so vigorous, because we don't have to be like, during the season, it's hard to train because of A, the traveling, and B, also, if you want to go strength train, but you've got a race on the weekend, you can't strength train really Wednesday and maybe Tuesday because you want to be 100% for the race. So you tend to get a little bit weaker actually throughout the year, that I find. But yeah, the gist of it is just a lot of training just to try and get fitter and stronger for the next year. There are meetings and stuff that go on. Like today, we just had a meeting, like a post-season review type thing. But those tend to be a little bit more sparse and rare. You kind of get your key points down, and then the engineers. This is their time to really crunch down on the numbers and review the season, and for everyone to get together. And because you've got 6 months to basically figure out what you did wrong and what you can do to make that better. And this is the best time to do that. So there is a lot of teamwork involved in doing that.
I mean, obviously the season is pretty intense, and you probably don't get massive time to yourself when you're traveling around constantly. So is there anything that you kind of like doing when you're not working with the team in the off season, just to kind of unwind and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, so I'll see the guys every now and again, the mechanics and the engineers. I'm sure we'll go out for food or some drinks at some point soon. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to go in every day and chat to them in a non-stressful environment where, the track's not always stressful. There's Fridays or whatever, or Thursdays where it's pretty chill. But obviously everyone's there away from home doing a job, right? Whereas here it's like, you just get to chat and get to know people better and learn things about what they're doing in their life. And it just helps build that team connection of the whole cohesion of the unit, right? So the off season, whilst there isn't a ton of technically quote unquote important things to do, and it does look like we're not doing a lot, which to be fair, we're not compared to how busy our season is. There's a lot of things that you can cram into these 5-6 months, whatever it is, that will increase your performance for the following year.
Last couple of weeks, you've had Mick Schumacher at the team as he did his maiden IndyCar test. So did you help him in any way? Were you supporting his preparations for his test day?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they would have usually had Graham there since Graham is a lot more knowledgeable than I am. But Graham's obviously expecting his third baby, hopefully soon. I think very soon. I don't know if Courtney's had the baby yet or not, but so he wasn't there, and he's been stuck in California. So I was there, yeah, and I was there on the Friday for his seat fit just to meet him and kind of like if he had any questions about the car, which he did. He had some questions about different things regarding the car that were just kind of IndyCar specific stuff. The track and stuff like that, tires, etc. The kind of the basics, really. I mean, the guy's obviously done Formula One. He's been racing for a lot longer than me. He knows probably a bit more than I do, to be fair to him. So I didn't need to give him a load of information, just whatever he really asked, to be honest with you. So yeah, gave him a bit of a hand there, and then I did turn up to the track during his test day about halfway through, and just kind of once again made sure that he was good and didn't have any other questions, and that was it. I mean, saw him for maybe an hour tops total, but nice guy, and I think the test went quite well from the team's perspective. I think they're very happy with how he performed, and we'll see what the future holds. I genuinely have no idea. I'm not hiding anything. I haven't got a clue. So there's a lot of positives for me coming over to IndyCar, specifically RLL. Firstly, I don't know if RLL is its only option in IndyCar. It might be, it might not be. I have no idea. But also, from a team aspect, from partnerships and sponsorships, from just team, what's the word I'm looking for?
Commercial
exposure, that kind of stuff. Great for the team, right? Obviously, Mick comes from a family dynasty of motorsport, predominantly Formula One, albeit, but still motorsport legends, right? So that would be great for the team, right? That's a big aspect of why he's done the test and why it's a potential drive for him, right? And then, yeah, I mean, he's done Formula One. He's won, F2? I think he might have won F3. I don't really remember. And so, yeah, he's clearly got the skills and knowledge, which is a big thing. The knowledge of Formula One, and having a ex-Formula One driver in a team would be helpful for sure. I mean, the amount of data that those guys in F1 run through compared to IndyCar is a lot more. So could bring some new ideas and some fresh ideas to the team for sure. So, yeah, I think having him as a teammate would be great. I haven't ever worked with him before, so I can't say as to what the team environment would be in an actual race weekend scenario. Obviously, some teammates tend to be a bit more selfish than others, and you just never know until you drive with them, right? So, yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, it'd be great to have him.
And on the commercial side, him and Michael always wore the hat of the Deutsch and then the about 18-digit long name. So I'm looking forward to a team trying to cram that on the side of the car for next season. That'll be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I still to this day have no idea what that company is. To be honest with you.
We did a bit of research. Apparently, it's the financial institution services thing. So,
right.
For Bung Rung Ting Sting
Well, I hope
Dong.
that's paying him well because he promotes it a lot. So
rewind a month or two to Nashville. Obviously, you clinched Rookie of the Year. Kind of stumbled over the line ever so slightly, but I reckon you probably deserved it over the course of the year. So just take us through the chaos of that race and how aware you were of kind of everything that was going on. Obviously, Robert getting the penalty quite late on. Just, yeah, what were your recollections?
Yeah, definitely a race that I wanted to forget. Obviously, to get the elephant out of the room, I've already chatted to David. From his perspective, I don't think he minds me saying what we spoke about on the phone, but from his perspective, he was a bit confused as to why I was defending from him, and I explained to him the situation as to why I was with Rookie of the Year, and also that since I was a lap down to only one car at that point, which was the leader, which I believe was Pato, if I'm correct. Him overtaking me, more cars overtaking me, just decreases my chances exponentially of getting my lap wave back up for a yellow flag, right? So that's why I said to him as I was defending, right? As for the penalty, look, it is what it is. I can't change it now. I did think it was a bit harsh, especially since watching the race back and watching many other cars do the exact same thing that I did. I think they were quite harsh with the penalty that I was given. But like I said, it is what it is. Obviously, I apologize to David. Didn't want anything bad to happen to him, and it wasn't my intention for any contact to come between us. So that ruined our race. Simple as that, right? That gave me a drive-through and put me 2 laps down at that point. So at that point, I was just driving around and just getting out of people's way, right? And then, yeah, I mean, I at that point, it was more just waiting to see what Robert would get to and how many other cars would crash and what position I would end up in, kind of thing. And yeah, so I knew that he was moving forward in the pack. I knew that he was ahead on points at a certain point. And again, there's nothing I can do. So I was just like, well, you know, it is what it is. And then, yeah, he got his penalty for blocking Ferrucci, I believe it was, which was our saving grace at the end of the day. So I don't know. I guess I was thankful that the stewards gave him a penalty as well. So I was like, you know what, like, fine, fair enough. But yeah, I definitely not the way I wanted to win the Rookie of the Year for sure. It soured the taste, especially with the ungodly amount of hate I got from the David Malukas thing, which is fair enough. I understand that, but yeah, soured it a little bit for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, the end goal was to get Rookie of the Year, was to get to try and show what we could in our rookie year, which I think we did, right? So I think it was definitely something that was deserved after all of our issues that we had throughout the year.
And it's a funny thing, Rookie of the Year, because you obviously only get that one shot. So I guess how gratifying was it? And was it something like if you didn't get that on your CV, you would have kind of been gutted about, lost sleep over? I guess just how important was it to get that?
Yeah, definitely important, right? That was one of our two main goals: a Rookie of the Year for the 500 and Rookie of the Year overall, right? Those were our 2 like big goals for the year. And yeah, throughout the year, I've said this before, but I wasn't really focusing on it. I was more focused on like the overall championship and where I was standing there. I would say purely because we tended to be a lot quicker than Robert, and we usually ended up qualifying better, racing better. And so I wasn't particularly worried about that. I thought that, if I'm honest, what's the word, like stupidly, I guess, I kind of assumed it was almost a done deal, right? Halfway through the year. So I wasn't really looking at it. I was more focused on getting as many points throughout the year as possible compared to everyone else. But Robert had a great year as well, obviously, like especially on the ovals. He did really well on the ovals. And that's where they clawed back, where we struggled. So yeah, it was a great fight between us two. I don't know whether or not he's going to do another year of IndyCar or continue on. Hopefully he does, because he's a great guy to have in the paddock and brings a lot of fans to the series, which is always great for it. So yeah, definitely something that I'm happy that we managed to clinch. Would have probably ruined my day. Definitely ruined my day. Probably my week if I didn't win that. So I was glad that it did happen and that we did manage to scrape it.
And obviously, as you said, looking back at the year, your goal was Rookie of the Year, which you did achieve. But when you look back in general now, you've had a month or so to reflect on it. How do you assess the season as a whole versus maybe what you expected when you came into the year?
Well, I went in with very, very few expectations, which I think means that right now I don't really have any like super strong feelings towards the year as a whole. But just because I just didn't really know what to expect in that sense. So I think my expectations that I set, like, it kind of added up to what I expected. Maybe I would say we struggled a bit more in the races than I thought we would have, or I hoped we would have. I think I surprised myself with how well we qualified throughout the year. I think that I definitely did a better job than I expected there, and I thought that the pace was there out the gate, really. So that's obviously a really good thing, because that's the hardest thing to get is qualifying an outright pace. And the race stuff can come in the future, but that's the main thing is having that ability to drive the cars that fast around a track. So that for me is a big positive, because it means that there's a lot of room for growth in a lot of different areas, right? So I think overall we've set a very good foundation with RLL for future years. And I think overall it's definitely a positive. There were things for sure that I wish were better and wish didn't go some way or another way, or didn't wish that, I don't know, the St. Louis crash didn't happen, or the Nashville blocking thing didn't. There's certain things here and there that I think about every now and again, but I don't lose sleep over them because it's racing, and you learn from the mistakes and you move on. So yeah, I think I'm happy with the year and definitely eager to do better next year.
And you mentioned qualifying was probably one of your strengths across the course of the year. Was there anything else you feel like went particularly well across the course of the year, or is that the one mainly your highlight was strength number one?
We were pretty crap at everything else, to be honest with you. So I think mainly qualifying. I mean, outside of that, I mean, it's just the racing, really, isn't it? And we tended to go backwards in races more than we went forward. So, myself and the team are very much critical of our own failures and our own setbacks. So, I think we can all agree that's definitely a point that we need to work on. There were some tracks that the team did a lot better than last year. Like, I would say that the ovals have made a step forward compared to the car in 2024, from what I've seen at least. And so that's a big positive for us, because that's definitely been a big issue. Still, we're not great on it at all, but it's in the right direction, right? So yeah, there's pros and cons to everything. But yeah, I think the main thing really is the qualifying. I mean, that was just pretty outstanding. I think overall, if you ignore oval qualifyings, I want to say we were inside top 10 in like stats or something. I think I saw some stat page on it. But I think our average was something like 9th or 10th, maybe.
Ninth on average. I've got the spreadsheet. 10.45.
So there we go. So obviously that's great to have, which when you compare that then to the race result, you're like, crap. Like,
I can tell you where you were if you'd like me to.
I don't need to hear it.
Oh yeah. You
I know it's bad.
You don't want to find down Brendan Street. We'll leave that there.
But no, so that's what I mean. That the disparity and the delta between those two is ginormous. That there's so much work to be done in the races and in pit stops, fuel saving, strategy, tire wear. So many little things there, and that's where IndyCar gets you. That's the hard part for the new drivers and for the rookies, I think, at least, is that. So yeah, that's our focus for next year.
So would you say that's something that just comes with year two by having a year's experience under your belt?
I would, yes. There's a large majority of that will be that, yes, for sure. I think there's definitely things as well that we need to work on as a team. But I would say a large percentage of that is going to be just naturally there from doing a season of IndyCar, like without even thinking about anything, without even having to do any hard work and sitting at a notepad for hours. That'll be there immediately, right? So, or at least I'm hoping. God, I'm hoping it will be. Otherwise, we're really screwed. So, but anyway, we'll see. But that's the main point for us. So.
I mean, one of my favourite stats across the year was your road course qualifying form. I think you ruined it in Portland, but it was 100% record of transferring on the road courses, which was pretty impressive. So, like, where does that one lap speed come from? How did that come so naturally? Why did it come so naturally? I guess what was the deal there? Whether it's something yourself, whether it's the package, what clicked?
Well, I think just to give credit where credit's due, the RLL car on the road courses was good, right? I mean, don't just look at me, look at Graham, and then also to an extent Dev. Dev also had some pretty good performances on road course qualifyings, but Graham was right up there with me as well with that stat, So yes, whilst I obviously did my job, the car did its job as well at the end of the day. But I think that goes back to my previous point where I've been driving cars or carts, whatever, and trying to get the most out of it in one lap for best part of what? How old am I now? 22? Yeah, 15 years or so, I guess I would say. So that comes naturally to me and to any driver, really. Doing a qualifying session, driving a car as hard as possible, as fast as possible, right? The part that doesn't come naturally is pit stops, fuel saving, tire management, race management, race distance that we do. So it's those things that don't come naturally to me just because I haven't done them before. So yeah, that kind of just adds into that point previously where it's like, I know how to drive a car fast for a lap. I now need to learn how to do it over 90. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know you've touched on some of the negatives, and I guess it's quite a good mindset to have, looking to improve those things. But when you look back on the year, what do you see as like the biggest highlight, or some of the biggest highlights? Maybe, I don't know, something when you look back in 20 years at your rookie season that you think will properly stand out above other things.
Yes, I think the obvious one is the pole at Road America. That was awesome. And then we went from the pole to Mid-Ohio, which Mid-Ohio, in my opinion, was the best performance from the car perspective and driver perspective over the whole year. We should have got pole there as well had we had a set of new reds. And we had a really good race car as well, just struggled with strategy during the race, and that's why we finished 11th, I think. But the one that I would say people would not realize would be the 500, because obviously the 500, the overarching view of my race was held up the leaders for like 30 laps, right? Which is fair enough, right? Obviously we weren't a lap down at that point, so we didn't have command blue, but I was in that position after 2 drive-through penalties. So, and we also definitely struggled with car pace throughout the 500. I think we know that as a team, and it's something that we're working on for next year is the car build. Just quite a draggy car that I drove at the 500, which happens sometimes. It's the nature of that event. But, you know, without those 2 drive-throughs, we would have been easily inside the top 10, easily. But probably pushing towards, I don't know, a top 7, 6, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say for sure because you're speculating now. But my point is, with 2 drive-throughs, to be finishing 12th and on still on the lead lap, you know, we had a really good race there. And there was a lot of positives to take from it. So that, for me, is something that, you know, if we can get the car speed up and not make those mistakes that I got the drive-throughs for, which were just I sped twice in pit lane like an idiot, then it's not bad. I mean, not saying that we're going to go win it next year, but we did a better job than I think we all expected to. So that's quite a good positive for me. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess all the fast sixes and whatnot, you know, IMS as per usual, RLL was great there. So there's definitely a lot of highlights from the year, which is nice to have this because it's rare that you get highlights in racing. It's usually low lights with a few, well, unless your name's Alex Palou, but like it's usually like a few sprinkles of highlights. So it's nice that we've got a good handful that we can look back on and be proud of.
This might be a really boring question for some people, but I mean, we see a lot of people speeding at Indy. Like, can you just explain how difficult that braking is coming into pit lane? Obviously, kind of some of the speeds that you're doing, because it's not an infrequent thing that we see.
Yeah. So the main reason why it's difficult, there's I would say 3 key reasons. Firstly, obviously, you're coming out of turn 4 at best part of 210 mile an hour ish. Maybe a bit faster. So firstly, you're stopping from a very high speed, right? Secondly, well, there's more than 3 reasons, actually. I'm just going to list the reasons. Secondly, you're on low downforce, right? The car's like, if you lift off the car, like lift off the throttle, on a road and street course, the car decelerates fast because of all the downforce and the drag. On this, like, you can lift off. I mean, look at when Alex Rossi won without any fuel then. That would never happen if he had downforce in the car. But these things are so streamlined that they just have no downforce in the car at all, no drag. So you're not getting that grip from the wings that you're used to having, right? On top of that, your car's completely skewed one way. So you're kind of braking with like half the car almost. That's why you see a lot of people spin on entry. If they lock up, they spin quite easily. Or when they come out the pit lane, they spin quite easily. It's because when you're trying to go straight with a car that's bent, it's not easy. And the last thing is, obviously, everything about the speedway is about straight line speed and performance and top speed. So we run the brakes quite far away from the actual contact patch of the caliper. So when you go to hit the brakes, you have to pump them up, because if you just hit the brakes without pumping them, the pedal will just go to the floor. Like, it won't do anything. So you've got to pump it a little bit to get them to get close to the caliper, so then they will then brake. So you got to pump it enough as well, which you're usually doing midway around turn 4 as you're about to pit, pump them up and then brake. So there's a lot of things going on. Plus, also, you're picking a braking point. Like the pit lane speed limit is miles away by the time you brake. It's like what it feels like to a driver. It's miles away. So it's definitely tricky, especially when you're in a race situation where you're fighting for maybe a 500 win or whatever. all that time is so important. So you try and push it, and if you just push it that little bit too much and you just micro lock a front, you're going straight on. Like, you're not stopping in time. So it's very easily done. And as shown, I did it. So I'm example A. But yeah, it's quite tricky.
When you look back across the course of the year, is there any lesson that you feel like you could take into next season, which you learned maybe that you didn't expect to across the course of this year?
Good question. I mean, there's a lot. There's not. I won't say there's one key, like one that sticks out to me. Really, it's all just really small little things. And that's the thing with IndyCar is it's all small little stuff. Yeah, I guess I just have to encapsulate that in just race management and I'd have to give you like one like mind-blowing answer, but there really isn't. I mean, the thing that we've said all along throughout the year as a team is, you know, or everyone knows it, is the reason why the 10 car does so well isn't because he's so much faster than everyone or so much better at pit stops. It's all the little things. He's a little bit better at pit stops. They're a little bit better at fuel saving. They're a little bit better at tire management. They're like, it's all tiny little things. So yeah, not really. There isn't like one massive standout like moment that we had that we went, wow, this is worth a second a lap kind of thing.
I remember speaking to you, I think it might have been after St. Pete, to be honest. And one of the things that you'd kind of noticed in that weekend was just how crazily busy the weekend is compared to an Indy next weekend. So how did that develop across the year? How did you start to kind of manage that? Just to speak a bit about that element that people obviously don't really see.
Yeah, definitely still throughout the year was something that I felt a bit overwhelmed by. I don't think it got better for sure throughout the year, and I got more and more used to kind of what a Sunday looked like. I mean, specifically, it's race day that's very busy that I find. But yeah, I mean, you know, the race weekends, there's so much stuff that's going on between drivers' meetings, media appearances, driving the actual car, meetings after and before each outing. And then all the stuff in between, really. I mean, the schedule that we get given, or that gets done for me from RLL for each weekend. I mean, we've got every minute scheduled. You know, I even said that, I think I told you that we have time to rest. We have a scheduled allowed time where we're allowed to rest between like the pre-race activities and the race itself, right? So, which is just funny to me, because my whole career was just chill out, do your own thing until you drive. Like, do what you want to do. Like, if you want to do data, do data. If you want to sit there and go on your phone, go on your phone. Like, it's not a big deal. So that was definitely different for me. And it's just so busy. And, you know, as an IndyCar driver at IndyCar races, you now have fans that know who you are. Whereas in junior categories, no one knows you. No one knows who you are. You know, some people might know you, but 99% of people are just there for the IndyCar race. Whereas when you're doing IndyCar itself, it's a lot busier. Now, I couldn't even imagine what it would be like being Pato, because everyone knows that guy. So I'm glad to be a little bit more low key, and I can kind of fly under the radar sometimes. But you know, it's obviously amazing to have the fans there, and the fan support is awesome. But yeah, mentally it does add an aspect to it of being able to obviously engage with the fans that we have, because that's the most important part of racing. But also being able to kind of stay in your own little bubble at the same time, and not let outside distractions kind of creep in. So yeah, definitely getting used to it. I'm sure as time goes on, it will get easier and easier and easier, and it'll feel like second nature to me. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I definitely have headaches by the end of days. Like, I'm like mentally fatigued from all the extracurricular activities.
Okay, I've got two follow-ups. The rest time, what do you actually spend that doing when you have this tiny bit of time?
TikTok. That's all I do. I just TikTok or Reels. Or texting people. I want to shut the door to our driver's room, turn the AC on, and speak to no one. Honestly, if we had like a sensory deprivation tank, that would be great.
Well, so, that's you got to recommend it.
Yeah, I think I should actually for next year. That would be a good idea, actually.
How much of the budget this will take up. And the second follow-up, like, how did you find through the year? I mean, obviously, Indy next, you champion, whatever. I guess the attention isn't huge, but the attention from fans as the year kind of went on, did that grow for you? Did more people start recognizing you and asking for whatever?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it obviously peaked at the 500. That's when obviously it's just crazy, and the amount of fans there is insane. and that's definitely an experience that I won't forget. And I mean, it'll happen every year, I hope, at least, like it's the fans there are awesome. So that's cool to have. But yeah, I would say a little bit. I think after our poll, definitely got a lot more recognition and more people knowing who I was and whatnot. So yeah, it was cool to kind of see that throughout the year. Yeah, it's nice to see that the support's growing.
You've been recognised somewhere random, like a Starbucks or a gym or somewhere, or
I got recognised 2 days ago. So okay, the podcast hasn't heard this yet, but obviously I told you about my broken computer beforehand. But I also had a broken phone like 3 days ago, right? My phone also, everything's broken in this house recently. I don't know why, but I updated my phone, my iPhone, and something went wrong with it. Couldn't get it to work. It was stuck on some random iPhone recovery screen. So I went to Apple to go and get it fixed. And I walk in there, and I'm sitting there for like 15 minutes waiting for a tech guy to come and help me out. And I'm on the Genius bar thingy, right? And some guy walks over to me. I'm like, oh, thank God, finally. Like, okay. And he goes, Louis Foster? And I'm like, yep, expecting him to help me with this thingy, right? And it's one of the Apple techs. And he goes, congrats on Rookie of the Year. And then walks off. And I'm like, okay, firstly, thank you, I appreciate that. But secondly, help me. Like, don't leave. Like, help me. Like, what are you doing? So that was funny. That because I fully expected him to be trying to help me, but it just shook me that he recognized me. But you get it in Indianapolis sometimes, to be fair. Like, you will here, especially, people do know IndyCar drivers and know that they're around. But no, it's not like I've gone to, I don't know, Florida and people are like screaming my name. It's no one knows who you are, which is nice in a sense. You get a little bit of obviously privacy and be able to be somewhat normal. Whereas if you're, I guess, a Formula One driver,
or Pato,
or Pato, yeah, or Pato, you'd be recognized most places you go to. So that anonymity can be nice actually sometimes. So yeah, noticed it a few times. There's been a few weird ones that are just super random, but it's cool when it does happen.
You can't leave us hanging. What was the end of the phone story? Did the guy come and help you?
No, he left. He didn't come. No, well, I think, to be fair to the guy, I think he was on a like they had like set tables, and he was like set a different table, and then like 5 minutes later, a guy came and helped me out. But it was just funny to me because I wasn't expecting that at all. Like, it just, the next words out of his mouth after me saying yes, I'm Louis Foster, was him. I did not expect it to be an IndyCar related thing. I expected it to be like, what's wrong with your phone, kind of thing. But it just caught me so off guard. I just laughed about it. But yeah, that one was funny.
Back to the kind of semi-serious stuff. I know you mentioned some of the negatives of the year, and I know ovals has been something that's just been kind of a lingering thing for the team for a while. I know Graham particularly seems to struggle, especially the last few races of the year. So what's the process during the off season? Kind of, can you just explain what's going on in terms of making improvements there? What improvements you feel do need to be made? Because I know you said there was generally a bit of a step forward.
Yeah, it's we went over it all today actually, as kind of the key points. But long story short, there's a lack of feel in the car on the oval, and me and Graham definitely show that. We have a very similar feel of the car and what we want from the car. So we have very similar feedback, which is good for the team because that's good, a lot of consistency, right? But yeah, the oval side of things, it's a lack of feel in the rear. We as a drivers, we just don't know where the rear is at any time of the course, and it's a big issue for ovals where you need confidence to be able to drive the cars in hard and to be able to carry minimum speed or roll in speed as well, especially. And when you can't feel the rear of the car, you just lose all that confidence. So it's a very hard place to build from, and it's a feeling issue. But the team has some ideas and some thoughts as to what could be the issue. And I would love to say we're making progress. I hope we are. The guys have been working genuinely tirelessly on trying to find a fix for it. And there are some races where it seemed to have improved a little bit, and then we take a back step and then another forward step, and it's we're kind of going around about a little bit. But with this off season, this 6 months to really dig into the data again and try and make another step forward, because I definitely think we made a step forward this year, like I said. Another year, another season, off season, and being able to fully look at the data and study and find, with the limited amount of time that we have on ovals, really narrow down some key changes we want to make to the car to see if it works, right? And that's the goal really, is we've got smart guys, really intelligent guys, me giving them the best information that they need to be able to go and do what they do best, and make the right decisions as to what to try on the car. So yeah, that's kind of the goal for the ovals.
And broadly, kind of beyond ovals, obviously the Sundays or race days being kind of the other struggle. Like, where was the struggle? How are you kind of targeting improving there next year? I know you touched on it a little bit before, but kind of individually as a team, what are you looking at in particular to kind of really make a step forward on?
Yeah, so the first thing, if we look at race pace, for example, we are looking at ways to utilize the black tires better, putting more energy into them, getting them into a better window. One of the reasons why our performance in qualifying was so strong this year is we often used more sets of red tires than everyone else to get up on a higher grid slot, which has its pros and cons. We qualified probably better than we might have, but we also have one set less red tires for the race. So, we believe that we can do the exact same lap time we can do the same lap time, but with a year's experience, I can do it just with one set rather than two, right? I don't need two goes at it anymore. So that's going to be an immediate, instant improvement to our race performance is having those extra red sets of tires. Strategy things, obviously that we had some races where strategy wasn't the best, and we missed out on certain yellows, or we were on the wrong strategy or whatever. That's something we're working on for next year. What else? Pit stops, that's a constant moving process. We had a new fueler in halfway through the year, and he struggled for sure at the start, but has gotten much better, and at the end he was really, really strong. And a few different movements around on pit stops to try and get the most out of the guys. Honestly, everything. I mean, there really isn't any stone being left unturned as to making sure that our race pace especially is better next year. And then a lot of it is just down to decision making. Like Road America, when we put it on pole, we then went to the race with a car that was way too understeery, with way too much downforce, and that killed us. And we look back at it and we were like, why did we do that? That was just stupid. Like, we were trying too hard to try and protect the rear tires, that we just gave the car a crap load of understeer, and we were just slow because of it. So it's just small decisions like that at the time we think is a good idea, but then in hindsight we're like, that wasn't the right. And it's just to learn from that and to not do it again. Simple as that. So there are big ones, there are small ones, and all of them have been looked at and understood and digested by everyone on the team.
Obviously, the team gone through quite a few changes this year. Obviously, you had Jay, was probably the main one taking charge of the team back mid-season. So do you feel like the team are making a step forward, and what do you think of the direction the team are generally going in compared to when you joined the team about a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, the history of the team over the last 3-4 years, obviously I haven't been hands-on with, I haven't been it, right? So, but from what I've been told and what I understand, it's been pulled in a lot of different directions from different people over the years. And that's why there hasn't really been what's the word? The only thing that's been consistent really is Graham. That's been the only consistent thing over the last 4 or 5 years of the team, right? So to have Jay come in Jay's got some great experience in motorsport. I mean, the guys did NASCAR for many years, ran NASCAR, led IndyCar for a long time as well. Knows everyone in the paddock, knows how to get the most out of people. I mean, he's a great guy to have. Honestly, I think obviously, we got signed to the team and everyone was like, wow, that's super cool. And then since then, it's kind of settled down as you expect, right? But the guy works tirelessly. Works on weekends usually as well, to be honest with you. I'll drive past the shop on a Saturday and I'll see his car parked outside. I'm like, what is Jay doing here today? Like, go home, mate. Like, go chill out. He works so hard. And there is so much stuff that's happened internally in the team that's all credit to Jay. Genuinely all credit to Jay. And he has definitely by far been the biggest impact on the team this year, without a doubt. The sponsors he's brought, I think the whole Mick thing was mainly because of him, if I'm honest, anyway. Stuff like that. I mean, the guy just works, is a demon of that kind of stuff, So it's great to have him on board. As for other people, the team hasn't changed a ton. There's been a little bit of restructuring recently, like postseason stuff. And we've got new people coming in, some people leaving. As with any team, right? There's always restructuring after a season. but definitely some of the more key roles are kind of moving around a little bit, and the way the team is being built is a little bit different. Not crazy, not enough to kind of again knock it all down and restart. That's not what we're doing. We're just changing it around to make it all gel a little bit better. So your key people are all in the same place mainly, right? Which is good for continuity and for kind of everyone knows what we did wrong this year, so we know what to work towards next year. You bring a new guy and he hasn't got a clue. He has to go read about it all, but doesn't really understand the extent of the issues because they don't live in the moment, right? So I think their team is heading in a good direction, if I'm honest. I think everyone's going to say that about their team because you're not going to say now the team's going in a bad direction, right? But I genuinely do think that with Jay's guidance and with some guidance from other places within the team, there is a good outlook on the future. There's a lot of people there that have good ideas and good thoughts, and I think Jay really is the person that's kind of gelled that all together. So I'm excited to see where the team goes in the next year, 2 years, etc., and see what happens. Because yeah, I have faith in the guys there. I mean, we've got some very, very smart people. I just think that they haven't been given the tools to show that in previous years, and that's what we're trying to do, is trying to let these super smart engineers or performance engineers or mechanics, whatever, be able to show what they've got really. And I think previously they've been a little bit stricken into their roles and suppressed. So only time will tell. I can blab on about here for months about saying how good the team's going to be, and at the end of the day, we need to prove it. So,
but on that sort of reshuffle, I know the team are dropping their IMSA program for next year. So does anything change on that side? Do you get more resources towards IndyCar side? What sort of happens with that?
I believe most of the guys that work on the floor are RLO employees, I think. I don't think there's like tons of them that just like leave and go back to BMW. There will for sure be something on the other side of the replacing that program, and hopefully there's an announcement soon about that. But yeah, obviously the goal is to have something else replace that program. So short answer is no. But also we don't really. I don't think that. Not we don't need it, but you know the guys we've got is what we've got, and we don't need to keep adding new people in and mixing things up when we've got what we need. We don't need to too many chefs in the kitchen kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So those guys do an amazing job at what they do, and yeah, they'll stay within the team, and if they can help out in the meantime, whilst kind of we're in the interim waiting for a new program to come along, they might help. You know, do some smaller things, but no, the core engineering group and the core everything is going to stay as it is. I mean, the team is not segregated, but it's split down the middle. You got that side and you got that side, and if you're on this side, you work on that, and if you're on that side, you work on that. Simple as that, really. So no, I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any change in having, I don't know, BMW engineers coming over or anything like that. I don't see that happening.
And I know Jay's kind of big saying is make shit happen, get shit done. So how have you kind of seen that rub off on the team? Is that been kind of an overarching thing that he's kind of really used as part of his ethos? Is that something you've kind of observed?
Yeah, I think obviously whatever's at the top trickles down, right? And Jay is a very outspoken. He speaks his mind. He's not a bullshitter. Like he's a really, really good guy. Me and Jay and I get on very well. And I respect him a lot. And you know, yeah, I mean, the way he shows himself definitely trickles down for sure. I mean, it's not like I don't think that he's got everyone into a room and be like, right, from now on, you will get shit. Like, it's not like that, right? It just trickles down from osmosis, really. But yeah, I mean, he's motivated to improve, very motivated to improve. I think Bobby, Mike, and David are all very motivated to improve. New sponsors on board that are very much behind improving and getting the program up to a place where we can start competing for wins and consistent podiums. Simple as that. So there's a lot of motivation there to turn it around. And, you know, I wouldn't even say it's turning it around. It's just continuing going on the direction that Jay's kind of put us on. And you know, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, the direction that you put on. But I have a feeling with Jay that it's probably right.
And then looking at next year, we know your goals for this year was Indy 500 Rookie of the Year. I think you were kind of screwed for that ever since Robert qualified on pole, but yeah, normal Rookie of the Year as well. Obviously, you achieved that one. So looking into year two, anything you expect? And I know you tell us usually when you have any goals, but is anything you're sort of looking for heading into year two?
Yeah, I mean, the goals get a little bit more vague at that point. But I think for me, a podium for sure is got to be on the cards. Want to try and grab more poles. I think if we can set the target of, I would say 1 pole again. Honestly, I think if we can get another pole next year, that would be great. And then I think championship standings wise, I think if we can finish in the top 15 would be good, and I think top 12 would be great. And then anything better than that will be a bonus. I mean, obviously we want to sit here and say that we want to win races, which we do, but we got to look at where we were this year, right? And yeah, there were some races where we had a chance-ish at winning. Maybe not with me, but with Graham in IMS and maybe even Portland. He was up there and was in a fighting chance, and maybe Takuma at the 500. But I think we need to look at being able to consistently fight for podiums, right? And not just have these one-off races where we are randomly good. Like IMS, for example, that's one that we always just tend to be randomly good at, and that's one we kind of take for granted. We want to be at a place where we can turn up to every road and street course and have an actual valid shot at having a top 5, top 3 finish without lucking out on a strategy or without everyone in front of us crashing. Do you know what I mean? So that's the target, is to be able to fight for those consistently, and just to gradually, slowly, and surely get up there. So yeah, I would say that for me, that's it. I think if we can get a podium, another pole, and top 15, top 12-ish in the championship, that'll be a successful year, I think, for us.
Looking to next year, we've got a bit of a new look calendar, new races: Phoenix, Arlington, Markham. Anything you're particularly looking forward to? Anything that stands out? Nashville under the lights. We've got a few new things going on.
Oh, Nashville's at night time, is it? Okay, cool. Didn't know that.
Well, I mean, it's height of summer. It's immediately after the World Cup final, so it's going to be one of the. It's a bit like, I guess Gateway was kind of half and half, so yeah, it'll probably end at night.
Cool. Well, it's cool. I like that. I like night races. They should do it more often, in my opinion. Every year should be a night race, in my opinion. If they have lights, if they don't have lights, maybe not. But maybe not Milwaukee. I don't think that has lights. Yeah, I think Arlington will be super cool. I think it'd be cool to do the race, obviously, with NASCAR at Arizona. Yeah, there's a few ones in there that, like, some of the new races definitely going to be cool. We'll see how the new Toronto race is going to be. I've heard that that's going to be paved properly as well, which will be nice for our spines. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, but yeah, I think for me, the one that I definitely circle on the calendar is going to be your Arlington and your Arizonas. They'll be cool. Cool new experiences, and I think there's a lot of effort going into the Arlington race. For obviously, that's going to hopefully be a hallmark event in the IndyCar calendar. It's going to kind of be like your Long Beach 2.0 is kind of is the goal of it, really. So there's a lot of money being put into that, and a lot of promotion being put into that, for that being a stable, continued event. So yeah, it'd be cool. There's a lot of cool things.
I mean, after England win the World Cup on the Nashville day, you're going to bring IndyCar home to the UK as well.
I hope they don't win, because I would be getting in the car drunk, and that would not be a good thing. So, yeah.
Well, we get Will to commentate the race drunk, and we'll have Callum drunk as well. So there'll be a few of you.
Dude, can you imagine if we did win, the amount of times Will would mention during the race that we won the World Cup?
Oh my god! Because it's on Fox.
What do you mean if we will win? When we win? You have to have the.
Well, whilst I like football and I support England, mate, we haven't won in like 70-something years. So
we have a song though, so no one else has got the song.
We'll see. I mean, the boys did a good job last year. There's a few things they can. You know what? I'll tell you what. If they put Jay Fry in charge of that team, they'd win it next year, 100%. So we need to ship Jay Fry out to the English football team. But we'll see. I'm hoping to go to a game if I can. It's right in the middle of the season for us, so it's like, when can I go to a game? But I've already looked at all of the schedule and everything. Like, I could go to this one, I could do that one. So I might try and head over to some of them. But I don't know who's playing it. You know, the group stages yet. So once the group stages come out, that's when I'll have a little look.
You'll have to do like if we do win it, like a special like England flag helmet, or England a big. I mean, I know it probably isn't allowed remotely with sponsors, but a big flag on the car.
That would be definitely jinxing it if I was to pre-make an English flag helmet, because we would definitely not win then.
No, that is a good point. Right, we're going to go in some random directions for this last portion. We've just got all sorts of just questions that aren't related to one another. So, first one, if there's one rule change you would enforce in IndyCar, what would it be?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll bring up the one that actually was a good idea. It would never happen, but it would be a good idea. That I was speaking to Lockie Hughes the other day on the phone actually, and he brought this up, and I thought about it previously as well. Is have separate chassis for road courses and separate chassis for ovals. Reason being, the weight of the chassis is so heavy because of the ovals, right? Because we need all the safety equipment in the car to keep us safe, which is awesome for the ovals because it means that we can crash and walk out and be okay, which I'm super thankful of. But on the road and street courses, it's definitely overkill, in my opinion. I think it's a lot of makes it very safe for us, but 9 times out of 10, unless you had a monumental shunt, it really you never even get to that level of required safety. Do you know what I mean? So it's a hard one to kind of put across, but I think that if the reason for doing that is cutting down weight and making the car more fun to drive and better to watch race as well, on road and street courses especially. So that would be one that I would think would make a good change to the series for the drivers, for the fans, for everything. It would never happen because you're doubling the amount of chassis now that a team has to buy, which financially is not going to happen. So that would be my rule change.
We actually spoke to Lockie, I think it was yesterday actually, and I think the word that he used was it was actually a little bit underwhelming. Do you kind of get that in driving this car? Like, I don't want to do things down, but like, is there a sense that it's a little bit like we're kind of just waiting for the new car?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, look, this car is what, 14, 15, no,
2012 GW12, so it's coming
yeah.
to its 14th year.
Yeah, and I mean, I've said it to people before. Is you can enter this car into a historic race, like it's eligible. That's how old it is, right? It's considered historic. So, of course, there's been updates throughout the years, and Dallara has done an amazing job of giving updates for safety, for performance, for lots of different things, right? But at the end of the day, it's the same chassis. It's all just bolt-ons, which aren't efficient at all, right? So, yeah, we are definitely in need of a new car, for sure, in my opinion. Simply put, to make this car much better with two easy fixes is give it more horsepower. It needs more horsepower. Get rid of the hybrid. It is a waste of time, waste of money. It is just crap, simply. It doesn't even work half the time. And then the last thing I would say is cut some weight off of it. I think the downforce levels are okay. It's definitely on the lighter side compared to what you would see in like the European ladder / Japanese ladder. Like, it's a little bit less downforce in those cars, but I don't think, because of the tracks we go to, I don't think we need it as much. And I think having less downforce allows us to race a lot closer than they can in Formula One and Super Formula, which makes the racing better, right? So I don't think it needs more downforce. I think downforce level's fine, but it's so underpowered that it genuinely, that, you know, they should give us the same boost we get for Indy 500 qualifying at every track, right? Which we can't do because the engine will blow up. But like, that's the kind of power we need for the car to feel like on edge and nervous and like a proper top level single seater again. And you'll see it from a fan perspective as well. As soon as the car gets a little bit lighter and with a little bit more power, it won't look like this boat that we're driving and we get a few snaps here and there. It will be like, oh, these guys are hustling. Like, this thing's hard to drive. And I think it'll make it much more fun to watch as a fan. Put a V8 in it as well. It's not going to happen, but unfortunately, it's the way that manufacturers want the engines to go these days, with hybrid and V6, and it obviously helps out for their program for their road cars. And at the end of the day, that's why they're here, to sell road cars. But yeah, there's definitely a sense of waiting for the new car and hoping and praying that IndyCar and Dallara get it right. Because if they don't, then I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for a new car, because we've waited way too long. I mean, look at F2 and F3. I mean, they get upgraded cars every 3 years, 4 years, really, you know? So that they're always getting new upgrades and changes and whatever. And the fact that it's taken 13 years is a little bit disappointing, really. So, long story short, hope the new car's good.
Very stereotypical IndyCar question: IndyCar title or Indy 500 title?
I think Indy 500 is like, people know it better. I think IndyCar title is harder to get. It's a hard one to choose between, but I think you have to choose the 500. I mean, it's the one that everyone talks about. I mean, look at whenever Alex Palou goes on TV and they put his name and what he does underneath. They don't put Alex Palou 4-time IndyCar champion. They put Alex Palou Indy 500 winner, right? That's your simple answer there. No one, with how big the 500 is in comparison, no one cares about the championship.
I
do. I want to win that. It's harder to win, I think, personally, but from a global perspective, the 500 is the thing.
Yeah, cool. This is something I don't think we've asked you before that we have asked people, but you must have a story about this, given how many things seem to be going wrong with your phone, your PC, or whatever. Travel disaster. Have you had like a big notable travel disaster or not?
My car's never broken down. Thank you, Acura, Honda. Quick plug. So that's never broken down. Got that one in. So I've never had an issue driving to a race. Have I had an issue flying to a race? Talking this year or just generally?
Just at any time.
This year, no. I have had some things. I can't really speak about them, legality-wise. But like during COVID and entering countries during COVID was an issue. I'll let your imagination run wild with that one. I had to get to a country, technically wasn't allowed to be there. We'll leave it at that.
Cool. Favorite livery? Have you had like a favorite livery that you had this year? I know you probably didn't have tons. I know the RLL cars, especially Graham, seems to go through a different livery.
Yeah, definitely Desnuda one at Nashville, the black and gold one.
Yes,
cool.
yeah.
That one was really
cool.
Definitely.
What was the whole deal with that? Because you had like an after party, didn't you, or something as well?
Yeah, we did. I got so drunk. It was great. Yeah, we Drop Light and Desnuda. It's all one umbrella company basically. But yeah, they hosted an after party for the end of the year, and we had this. We had one of the nightclubs like not rented out, but like half of it was like basically split it in half. Half was just normal people coming in to go to the light club, and the other half was like our part and our like private area basically. But it was super cool. Yeah, we had like a little after party. I was there for quite a while, and the team was there, and everyone was invited in the paddock. So we had some other different drivers come, pop in, say hi, and whatever. So it was just a nice event to have kind of hosted, and it was more of a hey, if you're around and you're bored of your bar, come to this one because we're here kind of thing. So that was cool to do.
Eagle-eyed Instagram fans of yours may have noticed you had a tattoo on your right arm. Any significance or meaning or background or?
Yeah, so I'm not a particularly like significant. I don't know. I would say I like tattoos that are like, what's the word?
Oh,
like,
right.
Not like a super meaningful, emotional. I don't know what the word is, person, right? But this one is the only reason I got this one as my first one is because I knew that when I got it, my mum couldn't be mad at me because it's a swallow on my arm, which we had swallows in our barn when I grew up. And they would migrate from Africa back to our barn in the summer. So my mum obviously loves swallows and she hates tattoos. So when she first saw it, she was like, oh, but it's a swallow. Like, it's kind of nice. So I knew it was immediately like she couldn't get mad at it. So that's why I got it. Well, not why. I also like it, but like it's one of the main reasons why. But I plan on getting some more at some point. Probably.
That's my next question. Any plans? Any in the works?
Yeah, I've got plans to get some more in November, I think. I'm going to go to LA with one of my best mates, and he's fully done, and get a few more there. But I'm not planning on having that many. Maybe, I don't know, total of like 10, which sounds like a lot, but in the grand 10's not that much. But no face tattoos or hand tattoos on the way. Don't worry. They're all going to be pretty much like more or less invisible unless I'm shirtless.
Do you play any sports recreationally? Like, are you a pickable player, like half a paddock car, or no?
No, I don't actually. I did play pickleball a little bit, but people in the IndyCar paddock sometimes can't distinguish the race car from a different sport, so they love to be competitive, and I could give. So when I play with some people, they're really good and they're fun to play with, but like I can tell that they definitely get a little bit upset when I'm not trying my hardest. And I'm like, like, fair enough. Like, I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to talk shit because you wanna play a game competitively. That's fair enough. I just don't. So if there's a casual pickable league that some IndyCar driver starts, I'll join it, sure. But not really. I mean, there isn't like, I mean, I'd go and kick a football around if I had the option, but there really isn't much of a football scene here, or, you know, not a big basketball player because I just get frustrated after missing the hoop for the 20th time. So no, I don't tend to play a lot of sports recreationally. For cardio stuff, I like to do my own thing. Go for a run, do it in the gym, whatever. I probably should start picking up another sport again, but I do enough training that I just, by the time I've done my gym stuff, I want to sit at home and just die. So,
do you care to name any names of the ultra competitive people?
Rasmussen is very competitive, and he'll agree, 100%. He'll agree. He's also very, very good, which is why he's so competitive. But yeah, I played with him before, and we've had some times we've chilled, but like, there's been some games it's been close, and I'm like, it's been close because he's been carrying me like crazy, and I've just missed every ball. And I can tell that he's like really wants to win, and I'm like, yeah, like, he still asks me every now and again to play it, but I turn it down because I'm like, I just know that you're saying it to be nice, but you really just don't want me to play for you because we're going to lose. So.
Speaking of Rasmussen's competitiveness, I can't remember if this was when we put this out or not, but I remember you and him having the Instagram battle of who can get the most followers for your real strategy. So how's that going?
I won.
You won? Oh, it's ended now. You've won.
I think our... Well, I don't think it was an official like competition. We were joking.
Oh, yes, it was. Yes, it was.
It's I think it was like first to 50K or something like that, more or less, and I hit that like last week. I don't know what he's at now. He must be close to.
Well, considering he won a race, I'm sure he must have got a lot of attention from that.
No, he's on 40K. He's on 40K. You're on 53.
Yes, I'll tell you, he's doing a good job with it. So I think he'll overtake me at some point because mine's slowed down a little bit. I haven't posted much recently, whereas he has. So. But yeah, it's just a little fun side bet thing to do. But yeah, I think it was to 50K if I remember correctly. But he has a chance to I don't know, beat me to 100. I guess that's the next goal. 100. Gonna have to pour more resources into my social media. Clearly, I don't know. I'm not a massive social media person. I'm not like. I'll post because I get told you need to post, but
because you're at gunpoint to make some read about how you started when you're 6 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's good for sponsorship and it's good for brand awareness and whatever. But I'm definitely not a social media person. I will not sit there and make video ideas and film them all out. Like for me, I've never seen the ROI on it personally, so that's just kind of why I haven't really grab the bull by the horns on that aspect. Like, probably the most social media person on the paddock is Malukas. Like him and Rasmussen are like the kings of loving social media.
And you still beat Rasmussen despite his love for social media. You need to take some credit for this.
Well, that's a lie, actually. No, I'm not. Rasmussen is the same as me, actually. He's also the same as me and has someone helping him. He also doesn't care about social media. I've completely lied there. I wasn't thinking. I think the one person that really does enjoy social media is Malukas. I don't know if any other drivers. I mean, like maybe Pato. Yeah, Pato as well. But it makes sense because they're the ones who've got the most engaged fans and biggest following kind of thing. So, I mean, it pays its dividends, obviously. But yeah, it's not something that I've ever fallen in love with.
So you won't be a social media manager, but if you were not a racing driver, what would you do? I don't know whether after your career or just if it never existed in the first place, what would you like have an interest in doing as a career?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously certain things that interest me in life. Would I be good at those things? Probably not. I've always liked space and stars. I've always thought that was interesting. So love to say I could be like an astronomer or an astronaut maybe, but let's be real here. I would have scored like 0% on those tests. So that would have never happened. So yeah, I mean, there's things I'm interested in, but as for what would I have done, I have no idea. I mean, it just depends on what field I succeeded in, and basically anything to do with math is immediately out the window because I'm not good at that. So I don't know. Something with real estate or architecture, I quite enjoy. I mean, I have different things that I enjoy in life. Just whether or not I would be successful in a career in that, I don't know because I've never never tried, so it's something that's hard to kind of say for sure. But no clear answer there. No clear answer at all.
It's interesting you mentioned the space thing, because Linus Lundqvist, when we spoke to him, he has a fascination with black holes. That's what he told us. He has a fascination with black holes, which I don't know how far that fascination could go, but that's
Isn't
that's
Palou really interested in space as well?
I don't know.
I'm sure Palou's got an interest in space. Must be a thing.
In my opinion, if you're not interested in space in any way, shape, or form, you are not. I think you lack intelligence, personally.
Okay.
I think if you look up and you don't wonder something or think or imagine something, or maybe not intelligence, but just like imagination and like that kind. Like if you don't care at all, like I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with you, because it's so cool. Like it's I don't know. That's my view on it, and I think I don't think I've met anyone that goes like, I don't care about stars. Like I don't like that's a boring person to me. That's just boring. Like if you genuinely don't care at all about the making of the universe or where we came from, where we could be going, or aliens, for God's sake, the other galaxies, whatever. Right? If you don't care about that, then I pity your life.
Next weird random question going in another direction kind of relates to what we were talking about earlier. What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to sign? Like, have you been asked to sign anyone's forehead or anything bizarre?
I think gone are the days of signing bare breasts. I think those were kind of
Pato did it in St. Pete.
Bare breasts.
The guy got it tattooed. Yeah.
Oh, I meant like a woman lifting up.
Oh, woman. Oh, okay.
Yeah, those days are
for like the olden days. I don't think that happens. I mean, maybe to Pato, I don't know, but not for me. But I don't know. I signed a belly once. That one was interesting. I've signed a T-shirt with my face on it, like a cutout of my face. That one was fun as well. Gosh, what else? Nothing. Honestly, nothing insane. It's not like I'm about to sign like a baby's forehead or like, I don't know, someone's cast, or I don't know, nothing weird. 90% of the time it's just, you know, the hero cards that we have. But yeah, nothing crazy yet. I will keep you updated. Maybe if someone sees this year and next year they want.
So, any fans listening to this, we'll have a competition of what's the weirdest thing you can get Louis to sign.
Yeah,
across the course of next year.
Yeah, let's do that, and the winner gets a signed pair of race gloves. How about that?
Oh, excellent!
There we have it.
Bring it on.
Thing. And you have to get a photo of me signing it, and you have to tag me and DIVEBOMB. That's the deal.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. Let's start it.
Well, one thing I recalled was, didn't you have a fan come and tell you they hated your mustache? I'm sure I saw a video of that.
Yeah, so actually, funny, it's a really weird story now, but girl's name's Andrea, right? She's a really nice girl. But yeah, she came up and just was like, shave the mustache, and I was like, no, like who are you? Leave me alone. Like what? Anyway, she kept coming to races, and obviously like I saw her loads of times, and she's actually a really nice girl actually. And I've actually like gotten to know her a little bit, to be honest with you. And she like her and my girlfriend are now like scheming and like trying to think of things to annoy me with, and like it's like the person that had the T-shirt of my face that I signed was her. She had
okay.
that. She's like become my number one fan / hater at the same time. It's really weird. Like if you just look at any of my comments on Instagram, it's just hate from her, but it's a joke. So it's a funny dynamic. It's weird, but no, that one was funny actually.
And talking of the look, are we set now? Your hair's growing a little bit. The moustache has obviously come back. Is this a look you're rocking for the foreseeable?
I think so. I mean, yeah. It's stuck so far. Maybe I'll have another choice next year. I don't know.
It's quite an IndyCar thing to grow their hair out, because every year, I mean, Hunter McElroy's the other one. Indy Next, really short hair, and now it was flowing everywhere. So it must be a trend.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's trendier nowadays, to be fair. Like longer hair is definitely a bit trendier nowadays. I grew it out honestly because I never had long hair before, and I got bored, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna grow it out because I got nothing better to do apart from driving IndyCar for a year. But like, you know, it was one of those things I just did for the sake of doing it. And since I've had it now, like, pros and cons. I got to wear a headband whenever I train because otherwise, like, this sucks. But I like it so far. Plus, also, I'd be single if I cut it back to being short again. So that would be good.
Right. This is I think this is the last question we've got, and this is something I don't know how I've never asked you before. But when you like celebrate winning a race when you immediately get out of the car, do you like plan what you do? Because I always seem to remember you doing like 2 claps and 2 fists. I can't remember because obviously it's a year since.
It's been a long time. You can say it. Don't worry. It's
yeah, I know.
You haven't won in fucking ages, Louis. So I don't remember.
But is it a planned thing? Like I can't, like, the fists and clapping, and it always felt very, very uniform.
Yeah. Do a little bow at the end as well. Some drivers will like have a set out like celebration they want to do. I never did. Like, if I'm honest, whenever I want to race in Indy next, it was less of like celebration. It was more relief. So like I would always get out of the car and be like, okay, now I need to show that I'm happy. Like I remember I would tell myself, you need to celebrate and show that you're happy that you've won. Because I was never like super happy and over the moon about it. I was just like, okay, good, we've won that. Nice. Next one. Do you know what I mean? That was always the mindset that I had. So, which is a very depressing mindset, I appreciate. But it just was my mindset, and that's one of the reasons why I think I've done as well as I have, is that's how I view things. But no, I mean, I don't know. It just became, I guess, like force of habit, I guess, or like, what's the word? Like muscle
subconscious,
second nature,
muscle memory. I don't know. I didn't think about it. I was like, yeah, clap on a fist bump. That'll do. That'll get a photo.
I've got it up. It's smash the halo twice, and then you clap twice, and then you do a little fist. That's.
Yeah.
If you ever win an IndyCar, that's got to be the first celebration. Double slap of the halo.
I'm just going to give a thumbs up.
Turn out the car and you go walk up to the podium celebration.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure a first IndyCar win there'll be a bit more celebration than that. But
imagine you win the Indy 500 and your first reaction.
What would you do if you won the Indy 500? Like, because I know people plan.
Probably Renegade or something. I don't know.
Like, well, I think I don't know why I've even thought of this, because I'm not going to win the Indy 500. But I think I'd just like try and sprint around the track.
Okay, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard.
Wait, yeah, because actually, Pelosi said he did it
on TV. Like, it would be.
Yeah.
Have you
It'd take
seen?
you a long time.
Yeah, it would take a while.
Talladega Nights?
I haven't actually. No.
Okay, well, it's a scene where Ricky Bobby is like running because he thinks he's on fire. It'll be like that. Like, you'll win the race, and then the cameras will just be like, the commentators will be like, "What is he doing?" And they'll just be following for like a solid 5 minutes while she runs around the track. And by the time you get back, everyone's just gonna be like, "What?" So, whilst it sounds interesting and different, very poor choice, Archie. Don't run in races as well. You break your ankle.
Yeah, I do remember now. Pelosi said he
was passed out.
Yeah, he nearly fainted, and that was literally just after running like a few meters and celebrating a little bit. Like, I remember seeing the pictures, and he looked like he was going to die. I don't know.
500 win. I haven't thought about it, but yeah, maybe this will come out. Who knows?
I'm too football inclined. Like, I just like put the arms
slide on the yard of bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that wouldn't go well. Jeez, slip and slide.
Who's going to roll with that out? Park in the yard of bricks and somebody. Oh, here we go. It's a slip and slide for you. Just have a think.
Oh no! Right, that's gone very weird.
You have to yank a brick out and throw it, even though you probably can't. Well, it's impossible to yank it.
No, don't do that. That's definitely not a good idea.
That's probably sacrilege, isn't it, against the speedway or something?
And also, if you can pull out concrete, you've got some pretty strong arms, I would say.
Yeah.
Those bricks must do a good job. There must be cars to go over it so quickly, so regularly. Probably. Anyway, we're getting really off topic here. So it's probably a good time to end. So Louis, thanks for catching up with us again. I'm sure we'll catch you at some point before St. Petersburg, quite possibly, when we're out of content again. But thanks for joining us again. Nice to catch up, and enjoy the rest of your off season.
Yeah, no, you too, boys. I appreciate it, and enjoy the British winter.